We are going on the most expensive free cruise this week. This experience got me thinking that I need to share with you the real numbers of these so-called free cruises. So today I'm breaking down just how much our free cruise cost us. Our free cruise is costing us more than $4,000. And if we booked a normal cruise the way we usually travel, we definitely would have spent less. A few months ago, Kirk bought my engagement ring from Effy Jewelry on board a cruise ship, the Regal Princess. And in purchasing that ring, part of the promotion included a free cruise on a chartered sailing for this cruise in June 2026. At the time when we were given the certificate for this free cruise, it sounded amazing. Free cruise, what could possibly go wrong? Well, once we decided that we were going to take them up on this free cruise, we were immediately faced with a processing fee. That first bill was due immediately, and it was $950 US. So, okay, $950 for two people. That cruise is for a week in the Caribbean. We get a cabin, food, entertainment, and that divided by two of us for 7 days works out to $136 US per day, or $68 US per person per day. Now, before I go any further, I want to make something very clear. This video is not a complaint by any means. We are really grateful for this cruise and we're excited about this cruise, and we're looking forward to spending a week on Regal Princess on a chartered adults only cruise. It's just the word free just turned into something else, and I think you need to be aware of it. Because when I started adding up all of these costs associated with this free cruise, I realized there's a really important lesson here. Free doesn't always mean free, and sometimes it doesn't even mean cheap. So let me show you exactly where the money went and how this free cruise got to be so expensive. So before we even packed our bags, before we even looked at flights, before we even planned a single shore excursion, our free cruise already cost us $950, like I said. Then we made another decision. If you've been following our YouTube channel for a while, you know that Kirk and I have spent years living on cruise ships, and we prefer to stay in balconies or better. So this $950 free cabin was in an interior cabin. So of course, Kirk and I wanted to upgrade our free cruise. So we actually did consider just leaving ourselves in an interior, but we really do love to sit on our balcony and drink coffee in the morning. So this is our own fault. So we ended up upgrading to the balcony, and that balcony upgrade cost us another $739.28 US. Suddenly our free cruise was sitting at almost $1,700 US, and we still haven't even left Canada. The biggest expense wasn't even the cruise. The biggest expense was getting to the cruise. Most people travel to cruises differently than we do. A typical cruiser books a cruise, flies to the port, stays in a hotel, takes the cruise, and then flies home. And that's perfectly normal. In fact, that's exactly what most people watching this video probably do. But that's not how Kirk and I usually travel. For the last few years, we've been ship hopping, and I'll link a video here about ship hopping and how we've been living that lifestyle for years. Instead of returning home after every cruise, we move from ship to ship, sometimes from cruise line to cruise line, sometimes country to country. We simply continue traveling, and one of the biggest benefits of ship hopping is that it eliminates a lot of the hidden expenses that vacation cruisers face. No flights, no airport parking, no pre-cruise hotels, no airport meals, no travel days, no scrambling to get back and forth between home and cruise ports. And over time, those savings can be significant. But for this cruise, we weren't already in position. We have to travel from Canada to Fort Lauderdale, just like traditional vacation cruisers. And wow, did the costs add up fast. First came the airport parking, and that cost us $117.43 Canadian, and that's a great deal. Then came the flights, and this one still hurts. Our flights cost $1,510.75, and that's using our 2-for-1 companion voucher for premium economy. Can you imagine what these tickets would have cost without that voucher? Then we booked a hotel in Fort Lauderdale for the night before the cruise. And yes, we always recommend arriving at least one day before embarkation. Cruise ships don't wait for delayed flights. So that hotel cost us another $296.89 Canadian. Just those 3 travel expenses alone came to almost $2,000 Canadian. And remember, at this point, we still haven't even stepped on board. We haven't ordered a drink. We haven't even eaten at the airport. We haven't even taken an Uber. We haven't even spent $1 on board, which brings me to the costs that are still coming. For this sailing, we decided not to purchase a drink package. Instead, we will be paying as we go. Realistically, we're estimating about 3 drinks each day per person, nothing crazy. Maybe a cocktail by the pool, a glass of wine with dinner, and a drink during the show. So at roughly $15 a drink, that works out to approximately $630 US over a 7-day cruise. Then there are the gratuities. Those are currently about $18 US per person per day. For 2 people over 7 days, that's another $252 US. And there are also the little expenses that somehow always show up. Airport food, Ubers, specialty coffee, internet upgrades, maybe a souvenir, maybe something we forgot to pack. The point is that the number keeps climbing. So what does our grand total look like? Well, depending on exchange rates and what we spend on board, this free cruise is likely ending up costing us more than $5,500 Canadian. $4,000 for a free cruise. Now, here's the interesting part. Will we still take it? Absolutely. We'll have a wonderful week. We'll still create videos. We'll see our friends, and we'll really enjoy the Regal Princess. We'll make some new memories together, and these things have value too. But this experience reinforced a lesson we've learned after years of cruising. The cheapest cruise is not necessarily the one with the lowest fare. The cheapest cruise is the one with the lowest total trip cost. And those are 2 very different things. People often compare cruise prices and focus entirely on the fare, but experienced travelers know the real costs are often hiding somewhere else. Flights, hotels, parking, transportation, meals, pre-cruise expenses, post-cruise expenses, and all the little things that don't appear on the cruise advertisement. That's one of the reasons ship hopping has worked so well for us over the years. By staying in the cruise ecosystem, we've often eliminated many of these big expenses associated with traditional vacation cruising. Oh, and we probably would have qualified to get our stock perk had we not been on a chartered cruise too. And I think that's a fascinating lesson overall. So yes, overall, we're very excited, we're very grateful, and yes, we're looking forward to going back on and enjoying every minute on board Regal Princess. But this free cruise has become the perfect reminder that free doesn't always mean free. And sometimes the best travel deal is the one that looks the least exciting on paper. I would love to hear from you. Have you ever received a free cruise, a free vacation, or a travel promotion that ended up costing you far more than you expected? Please tell me about it in the comments below. And if you're interested in cruise hacks, ship hopping, long-term cruising, and the real math behind cruise travel, make sure that you're subscribed. My name is Tori from KirkToriStory, where we have lived on cruise ships for over 3.5 years. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.